I'm Kelly Siegel, and this is Harder Than Life, a podcast about self-love, self-awareness, business, and health. We tell outrageous stories and boil everything down to simple, practical advice you can start using today. Let's get living. Today, we are blessed with presence of true greatness. This man has made and lost more money than remade it than I will ever see. He is an author, a motivational speaker, entrepreneur, and is best known for working with Lee Steinberg Sports Agency. Nowadays, he wears a cape and flies all around the world sharing his positivity with all. Ladies and gentlemen, David Meltzer.
I love that introduction. Thank you so much. And I will tell you from that intro, we can never overachieve our own self-image. So I promise you, you will see more money than I've lost twice. I know it's in your future.
David, I love you, and I'm so glad you're on, and I know that your time is precious, and I love your one-liner. So if you don't know who David Meltzer is, which honestly I didn't up until very recently through Craig Siegel, all his handles are in the show notes. I suggest you go down that proverbial rabbit hole and check out his inspirational content. He is full of one-liners, and we're going to dive right into it. But first of all, I want to say mazel tov on your daughter's graduation from Indiana, my man. I'm a huge fan, and like I said, I'm like your grandson through Craig Siegel. So thank you. I love you, and I appreciate you. You're doing good for everybody.
Thank you.
You have many one-line bombs that instantly kick me in the pants. I heard you on your weekly paradigm shift with Craig that rattled my soul. If you want a great life, you need to start it hard. If you want an extraordinary life, you start with impossible. I always say impossible only describes the degree of difficulty. Where did you come up with this gem, David?
I'm sure it's a amalgamation of my favorite one-liner, which is to be more interested than interesting. I research every day, and I pick up so many things, whether it's from the Bhagavad Gita, the Course in Miracles, Wayne Dyer, Michael E. Singer, Craig Siegel, whoever it may be. I'm thinking about different things that I've learned that day, and I spend a minimum amount of time every day intentionally to do research, to be more interested, to be a student, to pay attention and give intention to the coincidences I want in my life. And so some sort of interview or something that I had read said, start with hard and you'll end up to be great. And then I thought of in my own, well, I don't want to be great, right? I want to be amazing. Yeah, I want to be the empty miler, not the extra miler. And I was like, you know what, where does that start? And I think of my own journey, how that if I was 5 years old and told people where I'd be as CEO of Samsung, or a millionaire 9 months out of law school, or running the most notable sports agency in the world, or partners with Warren Moon, or having my own movies, TV shows, being a multi-millionaire with access that billionaires couldn't even have, and then losing it all to the point where I had to take my mom's house and move her out to back up again to be able to afford to do anything, anywhere, anytime. I will tell you, it started with impossible.
I got to tell you, guys got to read his book, Connected to Goodness. It's all in there. I'm not going to go into it, but his stories of making money, losing money, and everything he's done right and wrong. This guy is so versed in Harder Than Life, helping. Just go literally get his book, read it. But David, you're like 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon for the personal development space. Everyone I know is connected to you somehow, some way. Whether it be Jason Waller, Mike Diamond, or the aforementioned Craig Siegel, who is your most proud student?
Wow. I will have to say, just like the children that I have, it depends on what day. Whether it's Glenn Lundy, Brian Bogert, Craig Siegel, aforementioned Jason Waller, the baller, it doesn't matter. And I know you mentioned a few others. I think it would be unfair to any of them. Jeff Fenster, Dan Fleischman, it's so much fun just to be old, to see the seeds that we plant. Dennis Waitley, who's one of my mentors in sales when I was in my 20s, he had this line that I didn't fully understand until I got to my 50s. He said, hey, man, you're going to plant seeds under trees that you may never sit under. And those names, your names, my list of names, and many, many more that I help, it's nice because it's nice to see that I planted seeds under trees that I get to sit under. And what an honor it is to be the grandfather, as you said, on that tree of all of those extraordinary people.
I just think you're amazing, and I appreciate all the gems that you drop. I try and ask questions that my listeners can't Google and get to know you quickly. So tell us something you believe in that almost no one agrees with you on.
Um, I believe that, how so many people believe you got to know exactly what you want. Like I want to make $1 million by the end of the year. So one of my mentors, Bob Proctor, used to say, you got the more clarity you have on that vision board, the universe is exact. I disagree with that. Like I believe in knowing what you want in a trajectory or better. Like I believe that the minute you limit yourself, if you say I want $1 million by the end of the year, the next minute goes by, you create resistance when you don't have $1 million you're running out of time and running out of money. So for me, I talk in terms of velocity, of an infinite abundant system, a unified system of thought that has abundance in it. And a lot of people disagree. They think, no, you need to have exact goals. In fact, they don't even understand detachment, where you can detach your emotions from the outcome. So I've created a character called the Ferocious Buddha to help reconcile people's opinion that you actually can have a trajectory instead of an outcome as a milestone or goal.
Thank you for saying that, because I am not specific about, I just keep doing good things and good things happen. And that's just I guess the vibrational law of attraction.
Yeah,
Wait,
frequency management.
when you're talking about the Ferocious Buddha, what's with Craig calling you the sex dragon all the time?
Yeah, I think inherent in Craig's being, he's sexually attracted to me, and so he'll talk about all types of different things as he fantasizes. He's one of the few people. My wife and Craig are the only people on earth that are sexually attracted to me, and I'm okay with it. I just have to tell you, there could be worse people sexually attracted. I'm glad my wife still is, but it's nice to know there's someone else out there that sees what my wife sees, because there's not one episode of the Paradigm Shift, I think we're on episode 116, that he doesn't mention, some kind of analogous creature, a sexual creature of his attraction.
You gotta love him though, man. And David, I didn't know you were so funny, and I love it. I can't wait to meet you. If you could create one law in the universe that we all had to follow, what would it be and why?
Law of kindness would absolutely be it. If I could create a law of kindness, that you had to be kind to those who attack you, those who judge you, those who want things for you that you don't want. If I could create a law of kindness and that kindness extend to your future self, this world would instantaneously change to a collective consciousness of kindness. And I am telling you that this is a superpower that most people overlook. I want it to be on my tombstone, just 2 words: be kind. And I love to implement the law of kindness.
It goes right along with your being interested versus interesting. It's the same thing. You're amazing. And how quickly you come up with these, it means you believe it you embody it, so to speak.
I practice it. That's the best way I can describe it. Remember, it's progress, not perfection. And what creates progress is practice. Behaviors and energy, like money, is like an energy like time and space, that it aggregates, accelerates, and compounds an outcome for you. So mathematically, if you want to accelerate what you want, if you want to aggregate what you want, if you want to compound the exponentiality of the outcome that you want, you have to practice it every day, consistently, persistently, in the pursuit of your potential, your truth.
Man, you are worth the price of admission. I love you. What's your biggest fear?
Fear itself. Not to be John F. Kennedy, but look, I changed the paradigm shift, no pun intended, to Craig Siegel in my life. Everyone's trying to get more, right? More happy, more healthy, more wealthy, more worthy. I get it. I spent decades trying to get more in a world of more, but yet I learned that I am. And that paradigm shift of I am happy, I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am worthy. What am I doing to interfere with it? It's fear that's interfering with my potential, with the abundance, the infinite, all knowing, all powerful, with everything for everyone. It's the fear of the past and fear of the future. Fear of the past manifests itself as resentment and guilt, fear of the future, anxiety and worry. And so if we can not only utilize fear, but also prescribe the egoistic consciousness that we prescribe to fear. See, what we have to do is take a step beyond fear itself of interference with our potential, our truth, with abundance. And so when I look and say, oh my God, I'm worried, I then say, why am I worried? Oh, I got a need to be offended. Or I got a need to be anxious. I have a need to be frustrated. I have a need to be guilty, resentful. I have a need to be separate, inferior, superior. So therefore, I'm worrying right now about something that I can't control. But even worse, by worrying, not only can't I control it, but I'm actually going to manifest it, because what I pay attention to and give my intention to, what I think, say, do, believe, and feel, is going to create the coincidences and consequences that I want. And so I think that worry is a duplicative fear of not only creating interference between you and your potential, but it's actually manifesting what you don't want alongside interfering with your potential.
The listeners got to go back and rewind that. That was one of the best freaking answers I've ever heard. Dave, where are you today? You in Vegas? I mean, whatever you ate, do it again, because you just killed it.
I'm in my closet. I have the most eclectic, widespread spectrum of studios in the world. I have a $6 million studio at the Wynn in the lobby. I got a multi-million-dollar studio at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood at the new stadium. But a lot of my content is sat here in my closet, which we created this studio during COVID so that I could disperse and distribute all the content to empower others like you, to empower others to be happy, just like I have Craig Siegel and the others that you mentioned.
I got to tell you, I feel it. I feel you are. Thank you. Thank you for coming on. What's the best advice you've ever received?
Ask for help. Man, the fastest and easiest way to get to where you want to be is find someone that's already there. Ask them for directions. Ask them to bring the best out of you. Ask them to teach you how to do it. If I would have listened to that piece of advice when I was in my 20s, I would have never lost over $100 million. I would have had to walk up to my mom's house and say, hey, Mom, not only did I lose everything, but I lost your house because I never took my name off of the title. So you have to move. I have a basement of my basement because of my lack of humility and my lack of understanding of radical humility, that the easiest and fastest way to get to where you want to be or better is to find someone that's already there and ask for help.
When you say that, could you give a specific example of what you see in, I want to say marketplace, but out there in the personal development space, that people, the pride may get in the way and say, what, there's a commonality. Like, can you give a specific example?
First of all, people feel guilty or less than when they ask for help. If I was a CEO of a company, which I was afraid to ask the board for help because I was afraid that it would diminish their opinion of me. I was afraid to tell people I needed help or I needed money. I was afraid to tell people what I needed because I thought it diminished my capacity. What I didn't do is live in a value add world. You see, most people live in a zero-sum game, even to giving, right? They think the more I give, the more I receive. But you can't get more with less. And so you got to actually receive to give. And yes, the more you give, the more you receive. But the missing component that most people don't think about is, hey, how am I going to get more to give? Oh, shit. That's right. I can't give more with less. I better ask for help so I can get more, so I can give more, which leads to getting more, because it's not just appreciation and acknowledgement that allows us to get more. It's appreciation, acknowledgement, and asking for more that gets us more so we can give more.
God, we don't even need to go longer than 20 minutes. This guy's on fire. So what you're really saying is be vulnerable and don't be too proud to beg, or not beg, but just be vulnerable is what you're saying.
Be honest, transparent, and vulnerable. Yes, everyone has the same things. Who would have thought, with all the things that I thought I achieved in my life, running Samsungs, being a millionaire, having all of these cool friends, running these amazing things, going to these amazing places, that the one thing that resonates with people most is my vulnerability. Of all the setbacks, failures, mistakes, failures that I've had, nobody wants to hear, oh, I ran the most notable sports agency in the world. I was Jerry Maguire. Nobody wants to hear I ran Samsung's phone, to the very first cell phone that had a convergence device in it, a CE. Nobody wants to hear how rich I was. You know what they want to hear? That I fucked it all up, excuse my language, and I lost it all, and I'm still standing here today, because if you can look up, you can get up.
Oh!
They don't know They don't want to know how successful you are. They want to know how to be successful. And that's the difference that humility and vulnerability will bring to you being honest with yourself and honest with others.
I didn't put this in the questions, and we only have 5 more minutes, but I remember reading this. I read this a couple months ago, way before we scheduled this. I think you said when you lost it all, you were out partying and doing some things. Can you expound upon that? Because part of my rebirth is I quit drinking and drugging cold turkey, and that's what made it hard in life. And then I just addressed the root of what the problem was, and what do you know? It was actually fixable. I think you said you were going to hang out with some bad dudes, going to some bad places. My listeners are going to want to hear that story, and that's where the vulnerability. Can you just give us a 30-second overview on that?
Yeah, so I was surrounding myself with the wrong people, the wrong ideas. And some of them were old friends of mine. And my wife, thank goodness, when I came home one morning at 5:30 in the morning, after lying to her and saying a business meeting, I went to the Grammy Awards with Little John the Rapper. I was completely wasted. When I came home and she said to me, I'm leaving. I had 3 daughters under 8 years old. I'm leaving. I'm not happy. And you better take stock in who you were and who you want to become, because you're going to end up dead. That initially, I got defensive like I did to my dad and my mom and my best friend, who were the only other people on earth that were being honest with me of how effed up I was. Everybody else was blowing smoke up the rear input to try to blow up my head so I'll do more things for them. But those people were honest with me. And I had the same reaction to all 4 of those people: my mom, my dad, my best friend, and my wife. F you, I hate you, how dare you talk to me that way? But my wife, when she said that, by the next morning when I woke up, it had been resonating with me so hard that an occurrence occurred where I looked into my closet at a jacket my father had given me on my 30th birthday when I last had spoken to him 6 years ago. I saw that jacket hanging in my closet, a jacket I told him I was nothing like him. He gave me a jacket with no pockets to tell me money doesn't buy love, that you can't take anything with you when you're gone. This jacket should hang in your closet to remind you of that. And I said, F you, Dad. I'm nothing like you. You're a liar, a cheater, a manipulator. You're an overseller, a back-end seller, and I hate you. Here I was 6 years later, hating my mom, hating my dad, hating my best friend, and hating my wife. And all of a sudden, I looked at that jacket. I don't even know how it appeared. And I said to myself, I don't hate them. I don't hate my dad or my mom or my best friend or my wife. I hated myself. And I know from your transformation, you know what I'm talking about.
I'm
I was
triggered
a
like it's no
liar,
tomorrow.
a cheater, a manipulator, an overseller, a back-end seller. I had surrounded myself with liars, cheaters, manipulators, and back-end sellers. And if my wife didn't set me on a trajectory to take stock in I was, values that I had, the practices that are in place, and the execution of those practices, I would be dead today. And that's why I wrote that book, so that other people can take a deep look at the 3 things that make you, your mindset, your heart set, and your hand set. Connect to goodness. We are all happy, healthy, wealthy, and worthy. We just got to figure out what we're doing to interfere with it.
David, thank you for being so vulnerable. And I'm going to show this again. He went into depth into this book, Connected to Goodness, and that story resonated with me, and it made my heart think, you just helped
I need
somebody.
to add this. I will send anyone in your community. I will sign a book. I will send it to you. I will pay for the book and shipping. I'm not one of those guys that like, oh, get my free book. Pay me $10 for shipping for a $2 book. No, I will pay for shipping too. I'm here to empower people like you that I know will empower other people. So if you're one of those people out there that this is resonating with, just email me, david@dmeltzer.com, david@dmeltzer.com. I will sign it, send it, ship it, and pay for it all.
That's so kind of you. David, I want to be respectful. We're out to 20 minutes. Can I have 10 more minutes? I have 4 questions. So
all right,
thank you.
Rapid fire them.
I will rapid fire them. What's your favorite advice to give?
Ask for help. Be
It's the
kind
same-
to your
okay.
future self. Be more interested than interesting. Those are my 3 faves.
You say it over and over, and I love it, and they resonate with me. This one's personal. Craig keeps telling me to be present, and with so much goodness going on in my life, I find myself constantly looking forward to tomorrow. What advice can you give me to be more present?
It's really simple. A lot of people don't understand. If you know what you want, who can help you, and how to get it done using lenses of productivity, accessibility, and gratitude, then you truly know what's important to you today in a trajectory towards what you think you want in the future. So if you think you want something in the future, then know what it is today you can think, say, do, believe, and feel. Who can help you? Who can help you? Who can help them? And then prioritize by what's important to you. See, prioritization says that you know what to do now and know what to do next. If you know what to do now and know what to do next, you're present. And the only way you can do that is to prioritize what's important to you, not what's important to other people, not what's important to Craig, not what's missing, what you don't have. But if you know your what, your who, and your how, you'll know your now. If you know your now, 100% of the things you do get done, which means you're present. And then instead of searching for something in the future or commiserating with something in the past, you will be present, applying your why, not searching for something you already have. You will live with intelligence, intuition, and inspiration in the now. Prioritization also is the antidote to procrastination and feeling overwhelmed, also allowing you to be present. The greatest present of being present is to prioritize by knowing what's important to you, the what, the who, and the how.
All right, I'm going to agree with Craig. You are so sexy when you get fired.
I got three people now. Three people.
Two more questions. What was your aha moment when you knew personal development was your gig? Because when you had your moment with your wife, you were still in the sports stuff and doing. What was your aha moment where you knew that you were the grand poobah of personal development, and that's what you are, sir?
When I was invited to be into the Transformational Leadership Council with Jack Canfield, Deepak Chopra, John Asseroff, Jim Quick, all the guys from The Secret. Yeah. And when they invited me to be there and I got to speak at the Transformational Leadership Council to be a member, and I realized that, holy shit, the world thought leaders are listening to me and they're listening for me, and that I'm impacting in whatever small way at an equal level to the people I dreamed about learning from, let alone teaching. That to me was the aha moment, that if Jack Canfield, Deepak, Sadhguru, Jim Quick, if they're looking up to me, if they're looking to me to learn, then I must be able to walk the walk. And I have to take that responsibility seriously by enjoying it consistently every day, persistently without quit, in the pursuit of my potential as a world thought leader.
Good grief, you're amazing. Last question. If you could have dinner with one person that is alive or dead, who would it be and why?
Jesus Christ. And it's not a religious reason. It's a unification reason. I think if I could sit at dinner with Jesus Christ, I could then let people get rid of the fear that they have, what he means, what he meant, whether he existed, who he existed with, what he actually wants, all the different questions that create so much division and fear, superiority, inferiority, and separation. I think I could resolve with one dinner with Jesus Christ and bring world peace and unification by having credible proof. I get to videotape the dinner way, so I can at least prove to everyone and bring us all back together, because 99% of all religions believe one thing. They believe there's something bigger than them that knows everything and loves them and protects them more than their mom. But somehow 1%, the 10% that's different in religions seem to separate us all and cause us to kill each other. It causes us to put judgments and conditions and attacks on one another. And I think one dinner with Jesus Christ, with Dave Meltzer, we could resolve that very quickly.
Well, if that happens, let's get Craig Siegel, Kelly Siegel, and we'll have a Seder. We'll get it all done.
That's right, man. The Last Supper revisited with Dave Meltzer on Playbook.
Absolutely. David, thank you so much for taking the time on your busy day to be on the Heart of the Life podcast. I look forward to giving you a great big Siegel bear hug in person sometime soon. I love you, brother.
I will be in New York June 15th through 19th, meeting with Gary Vaynerchuk and others. So we might have a VIP dinner for all of us. So we'll get Siegel, the Sex Eagle, and you and many others.
I think we're going, he and I are going to Houston on the 20th, I think. So I got to talk to him about that.
Before you go.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir.
Before you go. Thank you, man.
Love you, man. Appreciate you.
Love you. Bye.
Each and every episode is sponsored by National Technology Management, the easiest and best IT company to do business with, delivering peace of mind with technology every day. Visit trustntm.com for more info. And until next week, be harder than life. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that episode. It was fun as can be recording. Thank you for listening. Please rate and subscribe to Harder Than Life, and let's take this to the next level. Get connected at the links below.